Testing, testing, 1, 2. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Set a 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Since anybody can make a song today, let's see if they put it on the radio to play. Cause 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Yo, what?
Hey,
What's
y'all.
up, y'all? Oh my god. Y'all already can imagine what we were doing before the show, right? Say no, but what's up, y'all? What's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another installment and another episode of Transparent Energy with your hostesses, with the Mostesses. It's your girl,
The lovely lady Bambi D.
and your girl Jordan B. And of course, we're live
All the time.
from the 205. And it's a rainy night. Well, a rainy day.
It's a rainy day. Well, it do feel like a rainy night, though.
Yeah, because it's definitely very gray outside.
But we're not all blue.
Okay, right? And no shade, but I love that. It goes with it. But yes, it's a rainy Sunday afternoon, which we're really thankful for, though, because
We needed it.
we needed it after this last week and some change. You know, like how we said, I think we talked about a little bit last week how it's been hot.
Hot is an
Unbearable
understatement.
heat.
It's
Like,
an understatement.
Unbearable heat.
I was thinking the other day that I don't even watch the news anymore, but I haven't heard the term heat wave
Yeah, me either.
because that's what
That's
we've
what
been
we are
experiencing.
Like, this is a different kind of heat.
Yeah, this ain't
The earth is boiling up.
It's no shade. This is not just take your ass outside and play.
Yeah, this is where you want your kid. Like, this is like not even one of the ones where you want to stay out. Like, you know how normally in the summers people like chill outside. Like, you don't see too much of that even walking home and stuff like that. I mean, I guess because the world has changed in a lot of different ways, but you don't see how people used to hang out like how they do on their steps and on the porch, chilling. Especially now, it's hot.
Yeah,
it's hot at night.
It's definitely not giving hot summer nights no more.
It's giving hot summer nights. It's giving steamy, humid.
No, it's
unbearable nights.
It's just a lot. It's a lot, and it's new for me anyway. Cause
I think it's new for all of us because I don't think it has been this hot before.
Do y'all remember it being this hot?
It's and well, thank God we're over here because I seen my sister had told me one day to look up Las Vegas weather, and baby, Las Vegas ain't got nothing on. I mean, we don't got nothing on Las Vegas. It's like 100 and 100 and something in the 100 and teens.
That's something. That's something to think about when I think geographically. Where places are, and it just makes me think like it has to be a lie what they're telling us. I remember being told living around the equator was supposed to signify like that's the tropic area.
And that's when it was the hottest.
It's supposed to be the hottest, right? And then looking, noticing that we live in the northern hemisphere, it's like, well, how hot is it if you can confirm that it's 117 degrees just a couple of states over from where we are? It just makes me think like,
yeah,
all this stuff is a lie and things is heating up for a reason.
Yeah, that's for sure. Of course, like I said, I know a lot of us haven't heard about global warming. None of us known about global warming and just that effect. But like I said, it's just who knows. I mean, but it's also like again, it was also prophesied that these last days were going to heat up. It's going to be hot,
which says to me that global warming ain't real, because that's just something that they made up to probably make money.
Oh, it's really about to go down. You know, the lesson of blow.
You know, it's. I think it's kind of one of them things like, while we're messing up, let's let them.
Because that's what they hate.
While we messing up,
while let's effing up the world even more.
Let's let them know that what they're doing of no knowledge is actually the reason why it's getting hot. So we can say it's global warming, which to me sounds like anything that they're engineering, working on. We already know that they're making clouds. We already know that they have electrical devices that have not power to control the weather, but alter its course. Yes. Like they can turn the wind. You know, they can like basically shift guide. You know, they've come up with the ability to do that. So it just makes me think like this global warming.
What can't they do? I mean,
let's not say that because they doing it. Did you see the fish with the people face? They out here they doing it. It's fish out here swimming up to the surface with human faces, and that just makes me feel like experiment gone wrong, dump it in the ocean, nobody ever find it.
Right.
But with this, with the whole global warming thing, it makes me feel like whatever they're engineering, all those toxic fumes and those gases, you know, they actually go up into the air, and you know when heat comes together, or when chemicals, you know, are compacted, it creates heat, and then you get combustion.
Especially the wrong ones.
Right, and then you get combustion. Thus, them saying there's holes in the ozone layer. We ain't us people down here driving these buses, running schools, keeping the prisoners in prison. We ain't doing nothing up in there. So it's all of them.
Yes. That's not pay rate. I was about to say that's not my pay rate. That's not my pay rate. But before we go any further, y'all, we already know that we can't go any further. For those that don't know, welcome to Transparent Energy, and this is a podcast full of love, light, laughter, information, tea, all kind of different things. We're here to heal. We're here to restore. We're here to renew. We're here to do things all new. Everything is new.
But most of all, we're doing it transparent.
Yes.
That means we're not doing anything that we ain't telling you.
Yes. You know? We definitely are trying to do our best to practice what we preach.
Absolutely. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
And we welcome you, so this is a safe space. So you're welcome here. And I hope that you let your friends know and those other people know. And again, share, subscribe, like, follow. We're on YouTube, we're on Apple, Spotify, iHeart. Anywhere you hear your podcast, we're there. So check us out.
And moving into our favorite, my favorite segment. I think it's our favorite segment.
It's the beginning of
that's right. It will be our affirmations. And I'll start this week. And I'll start with, we will develop boundaries without guilt.
We will develop boundaries without guilt.
We will learn to curb our tongues.
We will learn to curb our tongues.
I had to say that because I remember last week or the week before, a couple of weeks ago, if recent, you were saying how you were earnestly, like, thanking God, like, that you're able to watch your mouth and not say.
Yeah, I'm learning.
I'm
getting better.
You're getting better.
I'm getting better.
Well, there's someone for me. I never worked on it. It never occurred to me. You know, I've always been very candid and brash. However, that seed has been sown into me, and I find myself really telling myself not to say it.
Right.
Like, don't say it. And it's really hard because some of us, even when we don't think we want to say something, we say something. You know, and when we get to that point where we realize even that little bit is still way too much, you know, doing something about it is the lesson. So that's where I'm at. Like, that's the new lesson for me. Keep my mouth shut. Like,
yeah, because again, you know, a lot of times when we say certain things in the midst of anger and certain thing like that, you know, we can't take it back when we had to again realize how, because you know, we never really knew until I know I probably like just like the rest of y'all. I'm learning a lot of stuff now in my 30s, you know, and I'm not scared to admit that I'm learning a lot of things in my 30s that I should have probably learned a little bit earlier. But again, you learn certain things when it's time, and but I think we're all learning how important our words are, and we have to be very, very, very cautious of what we're saying to not just ourselves but to other people in the midst of anger and what we're saying about them, because a lot of times what we say about them too comes to fruition and we wonder why the person ain't changed. I know this even for me. You wonder why the person ain't changed because you still speaking death into them instead of the light and instead of life, you know. And we gotta just get used to saying more positive things. It's about everything and about everybody, and even those that you may not even want to, just learn to do the opposite of what you're used to, because I think it brings really rewarding. You know what's the names when you do it.
yeah, it's rewarding.
It's rewarding, yeah.
It really is though. But it's just only a few of us know and recognize that. But moving along, we must let go in order to grow.
We must let go in order to grow. I love these this week. We must what? Let go in order to grow. Like that. Yeah, that's true.
We are consistently moving with purpose.
We are consistently moving with purpose.
And finally, we will continue to discover patience.
We will continue to discover patience. Yes. You're doing great, friend. I like yours.
Thank you.
Really awesome. We are phenomenal.
We are phenomenal.
Yes. We are generational curse breakers.
Ooh, we are generational curse breakers.
We will succeed.
We will succeed. Can we say that again?
We will succeed. And we will complete the goals that we have set for ourselves.
We will complete the goals that we have set for ourselves.
I feel like you right there.
It's transparent.
That's what it was. You know I try to keep it short, but we are no longer stagnant and stuck.
We are no longer stagnant and stuck. I love that.
Let's say it again.
We are no longer stagnant and stuck. Yes. No longer get your behind up.
Yeah. Get up.
Real stuff. Real stuff. Get up.
It's time to be honest with ourselves.
Are you ready? Are y'all ready for today?
Are you ready for today?
Because today is really about transparency.
We're really going to be as transparent today as we can be, because we got to really, like I said, we got to if we're going to do this thing right, we're going to do life right. And we're going to do it right by definitely keeping us all informed on, you know, making these different changes. And even if it hurts, even if it, you know, it brings up certain things, you know, we have to get over these leaps and bounds. We got to stop making excuses for our actions. We got to stop making excuses for how we are, and this is just who we are. This is just how I'm is.
I agree. We have to stop living the hypocritical life. And you can it's time. We have to.
Stop.
We have to. We cannot speak positive affirmations and turn around and support the hogwash that's going on in our schools with our children and act like it's all right. We have to stop living a hypocritical life. We have to stop hoping and wanting for the things that we want, and realizing that if we're not putting in no work, it's not going to come to us. We have to stop living a hypocritical life.
And right, because especially if you're not putting the work in, it's not going to happen, y'all. I know we wish that things could just drop out of the sky and just not, you ain't got to work for nothing. But even I had to learn. If I had to learn, we all gonna learn too. Like, what you gotta really put your work. You gotta really set. And this, like I said, it's rewarding when you do. Like, it may seem like it, but like how they say in life, you gotta do the opposite of what you know. Like I said, if you wanna save money, it was a meme. I don't want to know if I want to say it verbatim because I can't do it. But it was just saying something in the sense of like, you know, if you want to save money, you know that you gotta stay in. You gotta sacrifice certain things, and if you want to, if you want to heal, you're gonna have to dig up in them, them places that is broken and have to face it. And like I said, it's kind of like life works the opposite of what, like how we were saying, like last week when they say, a worry don't, and when they say don't worry. That's how you really gotta work, like in life. Like you gotta operate like that. Like you gotta know, it's really works like that.
I'm also accepting the fact, and it's a fact, that and this is another thing going over what we were talking about, sidebar about my new endeavors. Change is supposed to happen. Whereas we get so caught up in thinking that don't change, be the same. And a lot of times that's good when it's good. But it goes bad when we miss that moment when it's time to change. And we have to accept change, because change is growth. And you got to think about it like a pair of shoes. I don't give a heck if it's a pair of shoes, pair of jeans. You outgrow them for a reason, to get something new. That is a part of life, and a lot of times we try to escape that.
We keep trying to squeeze to the old jeans.
A lot of times, and we don't realize we could fear that.
I think it's also fear for sure.
Definitely.
And that was one of the ones I want to put there. I mean, because I think we can always say that. Because, like I said, again, our affirmations are going to be repetitive. Some weeks is going to be some of the same things that we've said before. But again, like we are not going to be afraid. We are not going to be fearful. We're going to really stop allowing fear to control our lives, because that's why a lot of us are stuck and stagnant.
We're going to learn to start being okay with being vulnerable with ourselves.
And emotionally, I think that our emotional... Fucking EI. Oh, what's up with EI? What's up with the EI? With the emotional intelligence? Like, what's up?
That is a what?
What's up with the EI? Oh,
that's the emotional intelligence for me. It's saying you bitches is fake. Keep them fake tears. You leaking. You might rust. No. You might rust over there.
Right, because like I said,
emotional intelligence. No, I'm saying it wrong.
No, that's how it's.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people lack, is emotional intelligence.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't have really the empathy and the emotions to be able to put them. That's why a lot of people make the choices that they make, because they don't think about the consequences to their actions. That's a part of like not having emotional intelligence. It's kind of like just
reacting,
doing things without thinking, and then thinking later. Not having, not knowing how a person, not knowing how your actions are making someone feel. AKA somewhat narcissism, but we don't want to keep, because I guess everybody overuses that word narcissism.
But people use it and don't know what it means, and
it's true.
And those be the ones that I'm saying that are living a hypocritical life, because I know narcissists who don't know they're narcissists. I know manipulators who don't know that they're manipulators. And it's thrown around as if it's just another vernacular that nobody cares about, but just tastes good rolling off the tongue. And I think it's prevalent that at times it's repetitive, because for me, I believe like we really are channeled through the spirit. So it's coming out, not that we want to say it, but it needs to be heard. So sometimes that's how I think about it when it comes to our message.
You're right.
Because we're so on point, and you guys are so on point if you're here. But if you're not here, you still should be on point, because
Right. Oh, shit. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that a lot of us are starting to get on point. So we're gonna give you that. But it's like I said, we're living in a very peculiar time, and it's like I don't know. It's just something happening. I know it. You know, like I never felt this. Like I said, I think a lot of us, like I said before, a lot of us are experiencing for the first time, like a lot of different changes, a lot of first things that we never kind of experienced before, stepping out on different endeavors or stepping out just on faith and doing things that we never thought we could do, stopping things that we thought we'd never be able to stop,
Meeting people that we thought
we never meet, and building bonds. And yeah,
and I just want to touch a little bit on manifestation. The energy surrounded by it, put into it, it never stops. Earlier, like I was telling you, like on the Lyft ride here, I remember when we first started doing the podcast and people were recognizing us, and how we thought the feedback was, but we accepted it humbly, and continued being consistent, right, diligent, keeping up our momentum, doing whatever we had to do to keep the energy the same way it was. And then I told you, now I recognize that the attention, even you, when people approach you, wherever you are at in the world at the time, and like me, I'm just noticing that the conversation is more intimate, and it lets and there's a sense of realness to it, genuity, as if I'm meeting people who have something that they need to say, and they can't be heard in a world of twerking city. They can't be heard.
Chaos,
more
yeah.
Exactly, and
so much busyness.
It just lets me know. Like, I always feel it when we're together, when we're doing what we have to do. Even when we're not recording, we're all set and we just move in the world as one seeing it. But it just reminds me that manifestation is real. The work that you put into something is real, and a lot of times we get tunnel vision on wanting to see us put in the work, and where's the result?
Yeah.
And the result,
the start and the ending, not the process.
Right. And what I've noticed is, like, we are the work. Us working on ourselves individually to be able to come together, create something, and work on that. And the results are it's like energy, like the pollen just being spread, because the results are you guys coming, approaching me, approaching Jordan, letting us know you've listened, asking if you could come on and just tell a story, even opening up and making yourself vulnerable just lets me know that I thank God that I'm able to be so transparent enough to let a stranger be comfortable enough to be vulnerable.
Because I think that's what people want nowadays. People want realness, for real.
We need that.
Well, I think because it's especially in the kind of world that we're about to really experience, where things are going to be pretty much fake. Our fake reality, because with AI is false reality that they're trying to put in our real reality to make people just forget about what's really going on, and we need to keep as much realness around, as much genuity, as much authenticity. Like I said, if you can be anything, be yourself. Like,
that means a lot of y'all gonna have to stop lying. And a lot of y'all ain't gangster. A lot of y'all ain't bad. And that's not a put down.
But
I recognize
it's just
a cover up, a mask. A lot of us, we all had to be someone that we really weren't for a long time, even up to this day. That's why I said, stop lying to yourself. It's time. You ain't got to be the thug. You ain't got to be the baddest bitch. You ain't. It's really about. It's about coming together now, making something better. Because I know if we're tired of it, you guys got to definitely be tired of seeing it.
I'm tired of seeing it.
And we know you sick of it.
I'm sick of it. You already know my favorite line. I'm sick of it. I'm just sick. It's sad what our world is going through. Like, it's sad to see the unrest. It's sad to see a lot of the suffering going on. It's sad to see that even in our own backyard, our terrorists are really in our own backyards.
in our own homes,
but in our own backyards. Like for real, like our government, we can't trust them. Like they're feeding us the wrong stuff. They messing with our stuff. It's just, it's just like as you get older, you just be really like, I can't believe this is going on. I can't believe this is going on right in front of my face. Like a lot of this crazy stuff is going on. And like you said, and a lot of this stuff is just lies on top of lies on top of lies on top of lies that or cover ups, distractions. You know, ways to what they call it, diverge us from paying attention to what's really going on. Like I never seen just in this time, like even within our own countries, a place that just wants their people to be hurt and just messed up and like the amount of greed and control and like power and money and just all that rules this country is like crazy.
And you know what else is crazy?
Wow.
Officer Lanisha Hill Hall.
Who's that?
Officer, I guess she was a Philadelphian officer or whatever.
Straight into our hot topic.
Straight into it. Officer Lanisha Hill, excuse me. She was found unresponsive in her patrol car down on Columbus Boulevard.
In Philly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dead. You already know the way my mind works. Mm-hmm. Allegedly. Nobody knows what happened. The family was very shocked. This has been all news to them, and it just sounds like the booster to me. And I'm very relentless about how I feel that knowing that there are going to be a lot and has been a lot of sudden deaths as soon as they stopped pushing the boosters and stop talking about the COVID. These mysterious deaths that are happening, and then they're saying that reporters are saying nobody knows. The families doesn't seem to have any medical. It's kind of like we're being so pushed into a false world that by the time they start telling us the truth, by the time they start just keeping it a buck, just keeping it all the way a buck, which they do, they by the time they start doing that, it's going to be a hypnosis turned psychosis on the people. Whereas though we're actually, it's not far fetched that I can see them saying like, set the murderers free because we made a mistake. You know, some crazy stuff like that, and us falling for it and believing it. It's just really sick. But rest in peace to Lanisha Hill. But I feel like I think it has a lot to do with us.
So and she was in a cop car, so
she was in her patrol
so
car.
It was nothing on her camera, nothing on her vid. She just stopped.
She just died. She just died. She was found in her patrol car. She was married and she got a couple of kids. She was actually on the force for 24 years. You know, so she was pretty well known. I'm sure if she had any underlying medical issues, you know, if anybody, the police department would know. You know, well, we know she suffered
unless she didn't tell nobody about anything.
Unless she didn't, but
that's very typical too. A lot of people do that
with love.
I mean, of course, I'm not debunking our theory because I said we've said this before too that jab, baby.
That jab,
that jabby,
yeah.
That jab,
and it's not over yet. It's not over.
It's not over for me.
You know, because winter's coming back, and then remember the other strain. It was supposed to be a reoccurring strain, but that ain't on my hot topics. But
right. All right. Well, for me, I want to talk about 25-year-old Carly Russell. Who was, this story has went viral all over the internet. She was in Hoover, Oklahoma, or it's one of these places.
I think it was Alabama.
Alabama, yeah, Hoover, Alabama, or something like that. Long story short, she was, I guess, coming from work or wherever, just on her way somewhere, and she seen a young child walking on the expressway by themselves. So, she supposedly was already on the phone with a friend, or she had called a friend, and was trying to make the report or tell the cops where the child was at. They're saying it wasn't no police report though, so I don't know too much if she was in the midst of making a report, or if she called the person first and then was on her way, and as she was on her way to whatever. But long story short, as she's on her way to go see if the child was okay, because she was on the phone with her, was with her mom or her dad. Mm-hmm. She was on the phone with them, and like she's walking to the child. They said all you heard was her on the other line asking the child, "Are you okay?" They said the child didn't say anything, and all you heard was her scream, and then the phone going out.
On the 911, on the dispatch.
No, not on the dispatch, but on the parent who was on the phone with her. Because as I said, she didn't. How they got the cop call was when the parent called the cops after this, saying that this was happening. So like I said, I think she was going to call the cops after she walked down there to see what was happening. Okay. But she was already on the phone with her family member, already telling them what happened. So they're already on the phone with her listening while she's making her way down there. And supposedly, like, they said that they didn't hear the child say anything. They just heard her in the background. They said the next thing you know, she screamed, and then they heard a little rustle and tussle, and then that was it. And they said the cops got to the location because the family member called the cops, and when they got to the location, her car was running. Her phone was not too far away from it, and her wig was off. So it was a 2-day, I guess, missing, because it went viral.
I bet.
It went viral. The parents was on the internet, on social media, and they were saying, they hope this don't die down. Please, everybody, your prayers. And, a lot of people, I see that the prayers definitely went up, because within like a day and a half, it just happened. She was found actually last night. She was found late last night.
Where?
I don't know. That's what everybody said. Everybody said, all they know is she walked to her parents' house. She came to her parents' house, and they took her back to the hospital. They took her to the hospital to get examined. But she came to her parents' house, and so we're all still waiting on to figure out where she was at, what was going on.
She can remember.
Yeah, see what happened, because that was very scary. That was very scary. And again,
scary. Like I said, that's trafficking.
It gotta be something. And
that's a setup going bad.
There was a setup going bad,
going wrong or something.
Something, because, and then like how it's been just a lot of reports, just even saying how, like, of course, like, people are getting so crafty now with their tactics on, like, trafficking and how they're drawing people in to get people. They got so many different tactics and ways. That's why it's really imperative that we be safe out here, when we out and about, even with each other, crowds, no crowd, by yourself, with yourself. Like, make sure you always, like I said, I know everybody don't want to, but just take the whatever safety precautions is good for you. Take them, but definitely don't be scared to let people know where you're going, what you're doing. A lot of times, a lot of us want to be too private and too secretive. We want people knowing stuff, and that's when stuff happens to you, when you're a little bit too private. Thank God she was on the phone when she was smart. She called somebody and at least had them, because if she was by herself and didn't call anybody, we wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? She would have probably just been missing, and it would just been them finding a running car.
That's what it was. She was on the phone with somebody,
and they didn't know. Yeah,
and that startlement
probably made them
alert. Like, let's
release. Like, let's let her go.
You know what?
Because
especially if they held her for, what do you say, a day or so, they were trying to see if it came up, if they're missing. And
hopefully, like I said, them prayers that went up, hopefully they started bothering them people, and they bothering their minds, like, let that girl go.
Let that girl go.
They're like, let that girl go.
And send that baby back to wherever you know.
Yeah, because like I said, again, we have to remember
using the kids as decoys.
This trafficking is gotten really out of hand. Like I said, this is why I'm just, and it just doesn't just happen in America. It happens all over the world.
It does. It happens all over the world, but it seems like it's starting to run more.
Like, what
rampant here and more freely.
You don't want to have these kids.
There was somebody, and I was so
demonic.
I was so disappointed in seeing, just to piggyback off of your story. There was somebody in not Massachusetts. What's it? Minnesota. Some state here. Black man was arrested for basically trying to snatch a young girl out of the mall. trying to snatch a young girl out of the mall. Him and another guy, an accomplice, 2 black men, snatching. Tried to snatch this little girl out the mall, and she screamed and she ran and she got away, and she was able to point them out,
God,
and they were arrested. But to me, this is how sick it is. These traffickers are infiltrating our communities like they did with crack cocaine back in the 80s. And they're coming in with bigger and better propositions.
Well, they propositions, they lurking. A lot of them not even propositions.
Hear me out. When I say bigger and better propositions, I mean telling our hungry kings that, look, you want to rob and you want to steal, I'll give you $100,000 cash to help us. Now, they ain't saying that part, but why else would black men be out there kidnapping little white people when they don't even want their own kids? Make it make sense.
Right,
they're infiltrating our communities.
But for a lot of them aren't African like Americans. A lot of them are like from other places. I think like a lot of them are like.
What I'm saying is
Caribbeans
look, the
dark skin.
If the skin is dark, I just feel like they shouldn't be doing it. Yeah. You know, if I can look at a brother through the screen and he look like he down from 5th Street on Chester and he drink 40s, or sometimes he might be a quarter short, but he always asking for $1 or something. Sometimes I can, you can just look into people and be like, he ain't come up with this scheme to want to go steal somebody's child. Mm-hmm. Somebody pay him. And that's how we got to really start looking at people, in situations for exactly what it is, and get your focus out of those news anchors that's sitting there reading off of a teleprompter just so they can, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We have to get out of that and start seeing things for what it is. This is why we can't escape the excitement of, it's right in front of our faces. Mm-hmm. It's been in front of our faces.
Yeah, it's definitely been in front of our faces.
Just like, what else is in front of our face? What? Sexy Red. What? Performing Pound Town at the elementary schools. I'm over it. Is just as outrageous as these drag queens dressing sexy going to read to kindergartners. Enough is enough.
Yeah, what is this? Like, I'm sexualization around these kids.
I'm over that. It's disgusting. It is really fucking disgusting.
I didn't hear about this, please. I'm telling you, I get my kicks off of Sexy Red in a way, because like they are really again, like you said, it's the propaganda.
It's the agenda. It is definitely.
It's for our youth. Like, y'all always want to scream the LGBTQ agenda, but the cishet agenda is just as crucial, because the way they want our young women to be out here representing themselves, I get liberation. I get feeling body conscious.
But it's none of that.
But listen, y'all are taking it too far.
They have an agenda.
Yeah, it's an agenda. Because like how they said, like, even when, listen, before cutting me off, again, like, even back to the music industry, it is definitely an agenda when the own celebrities are saying that they don't want their church, like how that infamous little meme that goes around of Young Miami saying that she don't want her daughter being a city girl. Like, I get in a way what she's saying as far as like her life is the way she is because how she is, but she don't want to influence her daughter, but you are influencing other young girls as well. So I don't really think that's kind of smart to say in a way, because it's very contradicting in a way. If you were screaming that you're, because even if that is the case, but you do know now though, so why are you still screaming it?
Because that's when you have to put on your seeing glasses and realize that it's almost one of those things where they let you know that they're in a bind, Nate. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm saying I don't want this because I can't go on the radio and say, I can't go on there and say it. Mm-hmm. I've basically signed my life away to the point I have to show y'all what's to be represented. But I'm going to tell y'all something different. Sukiana just turned around and did that too.
And she, and I've really been, because I'm sorry to cut you off too, but even after that little situation with her and Young was saying, I get what even what people been saying about just because she's very overly sexually, fluid or whatever she is, sexually, whatever, public, just about how she acts and does stuff and do all that, that still doesn't mean that it was okay for him just to put his tongue down her throat and all that, which is true. But at the same time, you're literally promoting nothing but sex
and you're
provocative, right. like being provocative and like it was a video because I think it was a video even of her and Sexy Red out somewhere singing this, I think in an airport or somewhere singing the song like cutting just.
Here's my thing. Remember, we came out in a time where there was no social media, and we originally used what we had, whether if it was our weird personality, whether if it was the ability to adapt and get comfortable doing things that nobody else wanted to do. And we lose sight of the meaning or message behind it when we get enthralled in it and start being rewarded with our clothes and the money and the popularity, and it goes on to prove that manifestation is real, but we don't pay it. But sometimes it shows to pay attention to the work that you put into it. Yes, it's a shame that sometimes like people like Suki get violated for what it is that she's put out here, to help foundate her brand or whatever. But I think for somebody like me, I get to a point where when I stop hearing them, do all this and they say things like, I really cook, I really don't want my kids to do stuff like that. To me, that sounds like, in a sense, a little bit of a cry for help.
Yeah.
Like, damn, you I don't know. It's just it just sounds like a little bit of a cry for help. Like, damn, like you wish you could have went a different route, and that's okay. But they're not going to shine a light on that.
Yeah, they don't want to. I guess they don't want them to be seen showing redemption, like, or showing that like this is not really what I'm really smart. I'm really a girl, a geek. Like a lot of these women, like that's what I do. Like kind of like how Megan Thee Stallion came on the scene. Like, cause she was very like, even though she spit and even though she read about freaky stuff, but everybody knew that she was like very a smart girl, like a college girl, and she's very very highly smart. And so like that, like I said, and it's okay to have beauty and brains and be sexually liberated, but I also think it's a way to go about. And remember that we still do have a youth. Like y'all can't 1 minute say y'all over them acting like this. And y'all continuing to contribute to what they see. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but they're going to do that because that check and that money is good. Right. But I just think stop taking the easy way out. Miss Sexy Red, the easy way out was going up in them elementary schools talking about Pound Town to them. My empathy. Yes, I have an issue with it because this is definitely an agenda, and all I can think about is the little boys in the school in these schools. The little boys
that was going around.
Effeminate. They are effeminizing boys, and it's much broader than that. But that's just the part. But I keep saying.
But imagine how many boys now is touching girls in school and
appropriately.
And like
imagine how many
go to Pound Town in the bathroom. And
how many young girls
these boys is
glorifying.
Like how we told y'all last week. The new age demographic between these crazy kids nowadays is 6 and 15. 15 is about as far, but these kids in this age bracket has gotten younger and they wilder.
Do you want to know what your kids are doing? They're having sex.
They're having sex. They're still in that Wawa.
They're having sex.
They down here having like they down here.
They're having sex.
They're definitely having sex. I mean, and we indulge. Like I said again, it was still a way, but they're it's just like no shame to their game no more. It's like no discretion is no. Nothing. It's just like outward and just out.
I was on the L train last night. 3 little 15-year-old fast grown girls got on. Right before they got on, a guy lit up a black and mild behind me and cleared a few people out or whatever. But when these 3 young girls got on the train, the one I couldn't stop looking at, she said, "Oh my God, it smelled good. It smelled like a black. Somebody done lit a black on this joint."
Stink.
They smelled disgusting and horrible, and all I could think about was, where is your mother? Where's your mom? Like, I need to give you a hug and squeeze you till you cry. Like,
did you see the video of the little young boy lighting up a black?
No.
It was like him and these other little boys. It was, again, no older than 10. No older than 10. No older than 10.
Do you know you're
like
gonna
in black,
be on
some and they acting like, where y'all getting this from?
See, I was a safe kid.
I mean, not where y'all getting it from.
When I say I was a safe kid,
like
I smoked leaves, tree branches, and grass.
I faked it. I mean, even though I did experience one time with my dad's cigarettes before. I remember I did take my dad's.
That's how it was for me. Like,
right. But
sneaking and freaking maybe in the woods, So place smoking. It's too open and accepting.
Yeah, they're paying it. Yeah.
They're paying it. Mm-hmm. The little kid walked up to me and was like, "Yo, old head, give me a pack of nudies." I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to fight this person.
And you old heads that's doing it, you should be ashamed of yourself because you wouldn't want your child. You wouldn't want nobody doing it for your child. You wouldn't want nobody getting your child cigarettes. You wouldn't want nobody giving your child blunts if they don't smoke. Like, y'all wouldn't be cool with certain stuff. So why y'all doing it to other people's kids? Like, I really hate the hypocrisy between the new millennial adults, which we are. We are the new adults. And a lot of y'all are the reason why these kids are out here because these are some of y'all kids.
A lot of y'all the reason why we sit here every week on Transparent Energy and let you know how real we are
about it.
Like, about it. Because it's real.
Our kids is messed, like, especially, like I said, and it was another meme the other day. It was like it was the 5 cities, the rudest kids. And guess which city is number 1?
Don't you say Philadelphia. We are the city with the rudest kids. Do you know what that means? We're the first to go down in the next 10 years. Oh, y'all don't care because it ain't on live yet.
Yeah, right. And it ain't doing the, what is it? The hip shit.
Oh, my stars. Oh, my girl.
So y'all don't care. Y'all don't care, but for real, like, enough is enough, y'all. Enough is enough. Can you actually go to my story on your phone real quick on Instagram? Go to my story because that's my next topic real quick. But I don't have it in front of me, guys. And I wanted to right there, baby. Go all the way down. Right there. All right. So this story is breaking news today. All right. I don't know if you guys can. You guys can't probably see. But okay, this story is and this is the source is from the Melanin Shade Room on Instagram. It just broke probably about 9 hours ago, but this story is about justice for Michelle Dion Peacock. 67-year-old Tommy W. Earl was charged with the murder of 59-year-old Michelle Diane Peacock in Richmond, Indiana, on the 3rd of July, after local police were called to the Merle Henderson apartments on the 30th of June. According to a court affidavit, Earl approached Peacock, who was in a gazebo south of the apartment building, and slit her throat with a straight razor. Peacock was announced dead at the scene after she bled severely from the laceration. Earl, who was white, an older white man, Earl allegedly inflicted on her. Police reportedly arrived on the scene at around 1:20 p.m. to find bystanders attempting to subdue Earl, who had blood on his person and threatened to kill an officer with the same weapon he used on Peacock. So he obviously was a little off, but he threatened the cop too. As per reporting by Fox 59, Earl told investigators Peacock was a male acting as a woman, implying he believed incorrectly that she was trans. Earl went on to say that he would do it again and claimed the pair did not get on, saying he had a dispute with Peacock for months prior to the incident. Following her mother's death, Peacock's daughter Rochelle created a GoFundMe to raise money towards the cost of Peacock's funeral. Rochelle claimed her mother had lived in Richmond for around 3 years and was battling cancer at the time of her death, and she went on to write that Peacock was bullied by Mr. Earl and made complaints numerous times about him, but nothing was done. And here we are. Another
I got questions.
Woman dead at the hands of a white guy.
Mr.
Over what he said was basically two you're basically homophobic, transphobic, and you're racist because you don't like black people and you don't like homophobes or you don't like homosexuals or gays or trans people.
Earl is evil. Earl was evil.
Earl was evil, probably sick.
Just like most,
probably wanted her for real.
Just like most of those
perverted weirdo.
And I'm starting to recognize that most of those evil people live down in those states down there, and it gives me very much Like, look, I know why they feel entitled. I knew why you would do it again. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's sad. It's saddening for me to say that truth. You know, which is more the reason why, like, we really have to arm up and gear up. I'm not saying go out here and be prejudiced and start war, but I'm definitely saying, like, it's time.
Gird your loins, and be on the lookout. Like, these people is, and like I said, it's like you said, especially with the age of social media that we're living in now, things is not hitting no more. The racism is blatant. You already see with the Karens and the curls. You know, like, it's the curls, the earls. Like, it's getting like redundant. It seems like they're able to just get away with it repetitively. There's no consequences. There's no if or ands. I mean, well, they're saying that Earl's being indicted, whatever, but you just never know how.
Earl need to die. Excuse my French. I didn't mean it like that. But that's where why are we still holding on to people who are still taking their life from other people? Like, I'm not advocating death for death, but what I'm saying is what's right is
if you're
right.
Innocently taking people's lives, then for real.
Earl intentionally misidentified that woman as being a man.
That's not funny, but
it's not. But that's
so
what
wrong.
That's what he did,
and
it
then
was
he's
wrong.
sick too because he probably just another excuse so he don't try to make himself seem racist, but he did say that she was black too. He don't want people black around him.
She's black, and if you
racist,
I have two questions. How did he get close enough to this older person to slit their throat without somebody stopping the altercation? Unless he walked up to them casually.
Yeah. He wasn't to her casually, and
that makes me sick.
And he had prior arguments with her, so you just never know. And she probably was chilling by the gazebo. She said they was in an apartment. She probably was chilling in the gazebo, minding her business, and his sick self got up one day and decided that he wanted to go slit her throat.
I'm gonna kill that nigger.
Yep, I'm gonna go see. Yep, that's exactly what he said.
I'm gonna kill that nigger.
Yep.
And they be mean. You know what? It's just so sickening and sad, but not as worse as my final hot topic. They call this girl Passport Keisha.
So justice for Michelle.
Justice
Peacock, seriously.
Justice for Michelle Peacock.
And this one more thing. This is why, guys, we really have to start. Even for us, we have to make sure we got our arrangements in order because it should be no reason why we have to keep every time we turn. This is why I said it's so messed up with our community and just how we are conditioned and what's just the way it will take so many years to just decompress all this stuff and unlearn and relearn and da. But it's really time to get your stuff in order so you don't have to be up on here on these websites trying to get a GoFundMe for your mother. You know what I'm saying? Having to go through all of that. Even though I'm pretty sure people are going to help. I'm glad we live in a time where people really do extend.
But just like everything else, it's not going to be around
all the time.
And it don't even have the way the people are in this world's negative algorithm. It's not going to be around for long. It's definitely not. It's just so funny that you brought that up because me and my mom was talking. We actually supposed to have a meeting the other day or whatever about getting her final regards in order or whatever. We're supposed to be doing that via video, but you always on point about the algorithm. But my final hot topic, Miss Passport Keisha. Mm-hmm. Now Keisha's a truck driver, a bangy little cutie.
Good thing.
Mm-hmm. But Keisha decided to treat herself and go on treat herself. So she took herself to Dubai.
And what is that, bitch?
And she went over to Dubai. And she got into a verbal altercation, and she basically screamed at the guy, and they arrested her. She's in jail, facing charges right now for raising her voice in public, for screaming in public. And over there in Dubai, it's against the law for a woman to raise her voice to a man, and two, for a woman or anybody at that matter to be screaming
at the top of their lungs
outside in public. So we want to bring Passport Keisha back. Okay, because my baby girl didn't know no better.
Okay, don't do that to Keish. She didn't know.
Keish did not know anything. She's a bangy cunt. She's a young girl. She's doing her due deals over here in the States. She drives she's a trucker.
She didn't deserve it.
She's a trucker. She makes her money. She went to school. She's focused. She don't party or drink or anything, I assume, because she wouldn't be able to drive them 18-wheelers.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be drinking and driving them.
You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Get that little girl with the green hair a break.
Yeah, that was crazy. But that's why they also say you should know these certain things before you go over to certain countries. That stuff don't fly everywhere. That I know a lot of us like to get back at these people, let people know it and have it and show it and grab it. But some places they do not have that with the women, especially getting with their men.
Right. A lot of places. And y'all know a lot of countries is like that. Remember the girl in China who she got arrested or something for taking something out the restaurant. She didn't think it was a big deal. I think she took like a napkin or like a magazine. They locked her up for that. But before I forget, Florida has been boycotted. So that they got the new mayor, Spanish guy or whatever, and he basically put a crackdown on the tourist sites. And there has been a gargantuan financial decline in the tourist
because of the stuff that's been going on in there.
Because of the stuff that's been going on, and the mayor and the new mayor, whoever he is, that basically came in and basically said, if you were not born in this country, if you don't have paperwork in this country, you cannot run, operate, work, or do anything, in those parts. And it's really big. Like, there are people who have invested, bought properties, that are going all viral, and there's a hashtag, boycott Florida, that, it's basically the rich crying that they're about to go broke because the tourists aren't coming to Florida and renting out our beach houses. We have several beach houses and the beaches are empty. We don't have any guests at the hotel because most of the hotel staff, cooking, kitchen, maintenance, are all probably Spanish-speaking people who all probably most likely don't have documents. So we don't have any guests because we don't have any staff.
Definitely, yep.
We don't have any staff because the new mayor basically said, y'all are literally not. Yeah, y'all not allowed to work here. Y'all can't do it unless y'all got this, that, and the third. So it's basically the rich basically crying like, we need help, and somebody like me is like,
do it yourself.
Yeah. Or give us back our stuff. Give us back our land. And we'll fix it up.
Get somebody else to do it.
Yeah. Get somebody
else to do it. Get somebody else to do it. But guys, we will be right back in a moment after these messages. And we're back.
Talking about that somebody.
Okay, you should the my girl say, girl, please wait.
I said that's a lie.
You can't hold it. You just telling me that. So that, but yeah. We're back, guys, and we were talking about Florida, right?
Yeah, we were talking about Florida. Has basically been boycotted with its tourist attractions by their brand new mayor. Mm-hmm. I can't think of it right. No, I didn't write it. I can't think of it right now, but you can hashtag boycott Florida.
Florida just been going, and I used to really. I remember it was the time that I used to like it was a point where I really thought that I was going to live in Florida, but. And again, I probably still could. Like, a lot of times, just because there's certain stuff that's going on, don't mean it can't stop. Because again, look, you got a favor. If God is watching, you got to go. You remember, God is higher than anybody else. So
that's right.
Okay, what they got to say, it don't matter where you move. But I do believe too, you just don't want to set yourself up either. But I remember Florida used to really be one of my dream places to move. I love Florida. I love the vibe there. I love the the ocean. I love the beach vibes. I always had a good time when I went down here. But it sucks to see that it's going through so much a lot of.
I mean, well, you know what?
I racism and
killings. I like to believe that those high targeted areas and that are being afflicted financially,
right? With all them retirement in here,
because that's all that is. They're crying.
They got coins down in here. But like I said, but look, but it's what happens.
But then, really quick, I just feel like it's happening to them because that land was. It's their time.
It's their turn.
It's their turn. It's turn. Everything they're sitting on is stolen, literally. Now we may not see a lot of it because we live in the north. But if you have the type of mind that gives you the ability to explore and just research and want to know, tap into your inner journalist, you come to realize as broke as this country is, there are broke people who have properties that homeless people can live in that they rent out so they don't have to work. That has been.
Like I said, our country don't gotta be in the state that it is in.
It doesn't, but it is in the state that it's in because
of what has happened.
What has happened, and it's basically like we steal this, we keep this, we give this to you, and you give it to yours. It's like it's basically what we should be doing as a community, keeping things in our community so that way we could double expand and triple.
How every other community does it.
Exactly.
How every other community is sticking together, like the Hispanics, like the Chinese,
they
like
keep
the
their
Puerto
wealth,
Rican, like
they keep their
like it's like I said, it's like when it comes to the African Americans, we are the only race that seem to have the issue with coming together and we got so much power, buying power.
But we are the only people who was giving another name by another people who conquered us.
Right, I get it.
I know you get it.
I get it.
I know you get it.
I get it. It just sucks.
It sucks. And speaking of Florida, it sucks the Everglades.
It sucks the Everglades.
It sucks swampy Everglades.
Swampy. And nobody want to go to all that mixed up weather anyway. So I mean, we ain't really missing up. But again, it's just a shame that that we have got to this point. Like I said, because what y'all gonna do? Like I said, what are you rich folks gonna do without the help? What you gonna do? Because y'all don't like to pick up no rag. Y'all don't like to clean up behind yourselves.
It's given. You're not gonna. What are you gonna do?
You're really not gonna do it yourself. So he just made a law that he's gonna have to reverse. Because
not unless he's hell bent on a more diabolical scheme.
Yeah.
And I think anything
is possible.
If it's branded off of racism, you already know it's bad. His whole thing is get them Spanish speaking people, get them out. I don't want them here. And it makes somebody like me, like, I don't care in the exempt of, I just want to know, is you giving my people some land?
Where's that?
Like,
I don't get a mule land.
Oh, the 40 acres. Fuck that. No, fuck that mule. Fuck that land. Give me all of this.
People still waiting for that.
We ain't waiting for it because we not going to get that because we don't know who we are, and that's the secret.
That's why they don't want us to know who we are.
Right.
If we know who we are.
Right. Then it's a rat. Right. And that's why we here with Transparent Energy, because
that's why we're here, guys, because it's time to snap out of it.
And the way to
gay,
snap,
straight,
the way to snap
white,
out
blue,
of it,
orange, uncle. I mean, but even though I said again, we know our demographic. Uncle. I said we got our demographic, but for real, like, get your life, like, y'all.
Get your life.
Like, I'm serious.
We're not saying that ironically.
The propaganda is in our neighborhoods. If y'all really understand, that's why they had the liquor stores, the cigarettes, the drugs, all these different places, so we can stay where we at. Have our minds warped, you know what I'm saying?
And right next door, you getting mad because they got a dog park, a cute little jacuzzi.
That's why you got to go across town to where the good stuff at.
But we shouldn't have to go across town if we able to shake up our brethren and say, yo, like,
again,
we can have it here.
Our people could do it because they done it. They're burned down. They've been burnt down, and they've been.
Every idea they get from us, they come over to see what we got going on, and they take it and they go and build it up over there.
But I'm just going back to saying that it can be done because, like, in Tulsa and like in New York and all the places where there were literally black communities that were built, and we had
Wall Streets.
We had the Black Wall Street. We had
East Palestine, Ohio.
Hospitals. We had stores that were like, we can do it. We can do it. It's just that, again,
stop poisoning ourselves.
And we gotta learn how to be real and honest with ourselves, which is something that we're just going to talk about real quick. It's just a topic because, again, like I said, we really hell bent on. Like I said, if this is something that's going to be, like, a part of getting this world and moving our world into a better place in a better direction, we want to be doing it the right way. And like I said, we have to, again, remember that everything starts with us first. And we have to learn that when we get to the point where we're tired of our own ish, and we know that, listen, at the end of the day, I know that I've been living, I've been doing, I've been moving, I've been acting, I've been carrying myself like this for this long, and it has got you a certain place. But again, we know that again there is something more to us and more about us and more that we have to give. That we have to start being honest with ourselves, inside of ourselves, knowing that that has to come out.
That's right. It's
to
dying to come
It's
out.
dying to come. Come on.
Stop lying to yourself. And stop pretending. And let who you are come out. Yes. Let it out, because now's the time. You're gonna die being somebody you're not,
or being stagnant and stuck.
Yeah.
Like I said, y'all don't understand how fabulous it really is. Like change, like how they say, I don't understand how people wouldn't want to change. Change is so beautiful.
That's because fear has inhibited itself in people, where they get so comfortable and content that they don't see after a certain point that turns into stagnance.
As you said, you get comfortability.
It's nothing wrong with comfortability, and it's nothing wrong with being content. However, there's a fine line between stuck and comfort and stagnance and comfortability. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a very, very fine line. And I think that fine line is, if you are somebody that recognizes that you have outgrown your circle, that you get irked at your so-called friends and you really don't want to mess with them, but you do it anyway, that is your telltale sign that you are growing and that you need to step into your growth. When you don't want to be bothered with it, don't, because that is the first. That's the first denial that we have upon ourselves. Mm-hmm. Doing something that we don't want to do, and then healing it, thinking we healing it with a Band-Aid, thinking it's all right, because I don't really want to do it, but that's my nigga and he always right. Bitch, I don't give a fuck. Excuse my French, but you cannot have self-care.
And years don't mean nothing no more. Years don't mean nothing no more.
Yeah, it's not about years when it comes to your life.
For a long time, that have to be the people that we have to let go. It's the people that we've been knowing for years, and the homies and the friends and the people that we've been knowing for a long time that are actually the reasons why we're still in the same place that we've been at. And
the truth in that is, it's not a bad thing that we have to let people go. Mm. I don't know why. I don't know where the rhetoric came up that let them go. Well, no, I had to let them go because they weren't going where I was going, and I sure wasn't staying where they were at. So we have to be.
It's leave the ladder. Then, like I wanted the girls to say that on Instagram, like leave the ladder down, of course, because you want people to, at their time, start climbing,
still be able to.
But you gotta get yourself up that ladder and start moving your way. They say you can't. Again, some people aren't meant to breathe the same air at a certain point if they're not ready.
And at some point you'll suffocate.
And you gotta, like I said, you gotta be real with yourself in every aspect of life nowadays. It's time to stop fraud, and it's time to stop faking. It's time to stop joking. It's time to stop gaming.
Stop feeling like, stop wanting to be missed, because I think that's something that some of us, succumb from when we feel like, oh.
No, I think it is good to want to be missed. Like, because remember we were saying the other day, like, I think a lot of people have lost the mystery to themselves when it comes to certain things. Like, I do believe that you should keep a little mystery.
Well, no, I wasn't saying mystery. Okay. I'm just saying,
look, we were saying that you don't want, like, a lot of us don't want to be missing, but
a lot of us don't want to. It seems like sometimes we don't want to be. We don't want to be missed. As in, I don't know how to spend time with myself, so I always got to be around people. Right. Okay, or I'm not be around you for this week, but next week we gonna be cool. You don't know how to not want to be missed. You don't know how to really.
You don't got to go to everything. You don't got to be everywhere.
You don't have to be. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, and I've learned, because I was that person that had to be at every party every Saturday. I had to see, if I had 10 friends, I had to equally give all of my 10 friends equally time. And I learned that that's not.
It's not healthy.
It wasn't healthy at all.
Healthy. And it's like you said, and it gets people to start feeling like they got a certain control over you too, or then, like I said, that's when the jealousy starts to kick in, because some people start getting so used to you, and then when you start breaking that little trend and when they start hanging with somebody else and they start feeling like, you acting brand new and create all that. Like, I'd be so tired of this crazy, nasty, negative, this weird,
the truth of the matter
made
is,
up beef.
Some of
this lab grown beef.
Some of us grow up And some of us don't.
Just let grown beef.
Don't be the people who don't grow up, because those are the people who always have problems. Yeah. It's the people who are growing and consistently growing that we don't see.
And I'm proud of each and every one of y'all that's out here doing, especially like I said, I see on Facebook a lot now more than ever. And I'm so proud of so many of y'all that are like stepping into your power, y'all taking your power back, y'all y'all stopping doing drugs, y'all stop drinking. A lot of y'all have moved out of the city to other cities, are pursuing dreams and pursuing going back to school, becoming chefs, becoming entrepreneurs, like
influencers.
It's amazing to see.
You guys are so amazing, and one of the best things I love to
keep
see,
doing
and I want to keep pushing the
positivity and the positivity.
Leave them drugs alone, y'all. Please, again, the drugs, it's a rat. It's a rat.
Feeding you, they don't love you, baby.
Yeah, leave the drugs alone. You got to be real with yourself, and if you can't answer yourself and be happy with why you getting high, then you shouldn't be doing it. Be real. If you got to sneak around and do it, it's be real with yourself. Yes, life is hard, but it's not supposed to be freaking easy. You have to plant yourself. You have to plant yourself in a way where you're grounded enough to be able to move, but not be moved. Plant yourself so you can move, so you don't have to be moved. You find your people. You're going to gravitate towards your people. Your people are going to gravitate towards you. And it's going to take time, but in that time, put in that work. Let your nose be your nose and rest in the comfort of that. Don't stop ourselves, discipline ourselves. Try something new. For some of you, it just may be saying no. For some of you, it may be just being by yourself, being bored, going crazy in your mind, dealing with your own thoughts that you probably don't deal with. It's time for us and everybody to be real with ourselves, because there is a yearning for realness, and that's prevalent.
Get the help that you need, and if you need any help, get the help that you need. Like I said, start taking the necessary steps to become better and to do better and be better. Like the streets don't love us out here. Like it's nothing really out here for real, guys. Like them days was back. Them days had a little bit more adrenaline and fun back in the day when it was a little bit more fun. Like now it's not fun because it's not cool,
because the days are in us now.
Killing and jealous of each other. People ain't really happy for you out here. You're out here flashing your money and your fame and your kid, this and other people is jealous of y'all. They killing and be doing grimy shit, setting y'all up behind y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because you're out here doing y'all doing right stuff, but y'all with the wrong people. That's the word. You're doing the right stuff
with the wrong people.
But you were with the wrong people. And you wonder why you keep getting the results that you keep getting, and you wonder why stuff is not working out. You wonder why you get to a certain point and then all comes crashing down because, again, like I said, and again, that's self-sabotage. That's another part of keeping it real. Stop allowing that self-sabotage to mess up what you got going on. That self-sabotage that when you get to a certain point, you feel like it's like, oh my gosh, this is too good to be true, man. This ain't real. You mess up everything. You mess up everything because you start not believing, and you start that belief you had for a moment goes all the way in the blink of an moment.
Or you let fear overcome you.
Yeah, you let that fear, exactly. You let that fear.
Don't be afraid of change. Change comes with growth. Rewards come with change.
How do you think we get food and plants and things? I mean, how do you think plants grow? And
how do you think we're able to sit up here every week and do this? We laugh and talk all the time about who we used to be towards each other. And let me tell you how refreshing that is to be so transparent with someone without the fear of they're going to judge me. They're going to look at me some type of way. They're going to take what I said and run with it like a bomb.
And have we realized even more with more of our conversations how even more alike, like I said, of course we celebrate our differences, but we have so much in common. Like in the most mundane little things. And like, again, there is that person for you. That is that friend that is exactly who you need. And again, we also have our opposite things that also balance each other out would make things good. But again, we have a lot of the same similarities. Again, like you said, there is someone that is experiencing some of the same things you have. There is someone that can understand where you're coming from. There is someone that enjoys a lot of the same things that you enjoy.
But it's those differences, guys, that if you don't ignore it, you will discover things about you that you didn't even know about. And most of all, you'll get to share them with the person that unlocked that within you. I'm telling you, I celebrate this. This is my girl from the inside out. You understand what I'm saying? Person. And
like I said, I said it was earlier,
I would not be being honest if I did not say meeting someone like Jordan and many and a few other people who share that energy, that same spirit, that wholesomeness, that humility, that compassion. It is not easy getting there. It's not. It's a lot of cutting off. It's a lot of watching your mouth. It's a lot of sacrifice, not sabotage. Learn the difference. Sacrifice it's a lot of sacrifice. It is a lot of being alone, but not to be confused with lonely, or loneliness,
and stopping stuff. And like I said, that's what a sacrifice. Like I said, it's a huge sacrifice. Like I said, bitch, a lot of stuff that I thought that I would never stop doing, I literally have stopped doing it. You know, it just comes to a point where you, like you said, if you want to be healthy, if you want to be sober, you got to stop doing this. You know, you got to stop doing the stuff that was. You know, the reason why you
that used to make you feel good when you was unconscious.
Yeah, blacking out. Like I said, well, you know, I probably wasn't a blackout girl. Thank God for that. I was one of the people that very much knew what I was doing.
Right, me too. But that was a blackout.
Not all the time.
That was my blackout life.
Right, but I'm a blackout life.
That was my blackout life. I could get up, party, go, hang, whoop, swing a ding a lang. But really, you know, nowadays, and don't get me wrong, with the work, when you put the work in, you'll start to realize what you can do, what you're capable of, and what you can't. I remember just being a person of the word and still being able to party hardy and do it how I thought I could. It wasn't until I started saying no more, until I started being strict and disciplined with myself, that when I thought like, okay, I'm doing this, let me try to balance out, it wasn't working. It was wearing me out in some areas. Right. You know, we can't do it all. And I feel like life will demand you to change for the better, just like it demands the flowers to bloom at the beginning of spring, just like it demands the foliage to start turning at the beginning of fall.
We have seasons.
You know, things are supposed to change, and if you don't take anything away with you today from Transparent Energy, know that change is imminent. It's healthy.
It's inevitable.
It's healthy.
And it's great.
Because I damn sure know a pair of jeans I wore 6 years ago, I ain't.
Well, damn, that's a long time, friend.
But how long do we deal with things, though?
I know, but yeah.
You know what I mean?
But again, throw them old jeans away and stop trying to fit in old jeans. Like, stop trying to fit into them old jeans. Like, so
throw them old jeans out.
You didn't got some healthy weight on you now, and now it's time to fit into. You know what I'm saying? Go a size up. You know, up and better.
That was one of the first things that I started noticing, like on my journey of like being good to myself. Mm-hmm. You couldn't tell me nothing when I was a 3'4".
Ain't that crazy? You look back on some pictures, you be like, damn, I was skinny.
What? You talking about?
I'd be like, whoa.
Okay, I partied like a rock star, and I live to tell about it.
Right. Again, like I said, we all go through something to help. Our lives are living testimonies for other people, especially those that have been through something and have survived it and that went through it. And like I said, I'm a survivor of a lot of different things. My girl is also a survivor of a lot of different things. And I just thank God that we are survivors here to help someone else survive.
I love that. That was a yeah. I love that.
And that's what we're going to leave with you today. You're here for each other. So, I keep each other afloat.
With love. Y'all know the message. Always and all the time.
Always love. Love is the message, the only message, baby. And have a great week. And until next time.
Ciao.